Hello and welcome, I am Arumba, thank you for joining me. Let's play some more Banished, brand new title that just came out on February 18th this year. I played a previous series where we played on normal starting conditions. Actually, we played on hard, but we played on some of the easier overall settings. So this is going to be our new town. We're going to be playing on hard and on harsh. So we're going to actually have harsher winters. It's going to be colder, more risk of disaster, that kind of thing. We're also going to be playing on large. My previous map was a medium map. I'm going to stick with valleys, though, because I really want to try to get the building game out of the way this time. Disasters will be on. We will obviously start on hard, which means we don't start without no seeds. So we can just rely on gathering in the beginning of the game. This was the random town name that it gave me, and I just think it's so amazing that we have to keep it. It's Quigillistofetsto. And, yes, we're going to be playing on the map seat 8675309. So, let's see what that looks like. We learned quite a few things about how to exterminate the population of nomads. You know, you accept 50 nomads and 150 people die. It's glorious. That was one of the final videos in the previous attempt. Okay. So here we are. Now, unlike the previous playthrough as well, we're probably going to be playing on speed 10 for pretty much the entirety of the game because, you know, it's not that hard to manage, really. Maybe I make it... Maybe that's why we kind of failed last time. It's a pretty good looking area. Look at all that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Iron and stone and trees everywhere. So we are naturally in the center. These are inland lakes. They don't have any connection to the river, so if we do want to build a trade location, we're probably going to have to connect up with this main river here that goes north-south. These little tiny rivers will not give us access to trade. And this one actually looks like it dries out. That's kind of a cool feature. Is that what it's doing? Look at that. I mean, there's water flowing, but it, I could have sworn it's just a very, very tiny, tiny river. Okay. And then it somehow gets bigger. That is some interesting physics there. Small river becomes big river. I guess you could argue that it's flatter, maybe. So it's more spread out. That's not my view. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, we definitely need to go westward-ish. That's going to be a little complicated, actually. But, I think we just start our town right where we're at for the first little bit. Okay, so let's get everything set up the way we like. We're going to put the resource limits. I'm just going to keep the same setup that I normally have. The map was down here. Resource limits was here. This is one of those minor complaints that I have. I wish it would just kind of stay the way that it was in the previous playthrough, but not a big deal. Quigillistofetsto. I sound like one of those, remember in that game Black and White when the characters would have that weird language that they would speak? That's what I feel like I sounded like one of them. Alright, so we need some basic things like, let's just do a little bit of designating. We'll cut down some stone, get a few trees. We'll keep everyone on laboring for a second because I just want to clear out some resources. In fact, we'll go out about that far. So go, my people, work! And we're not going to put a stockpile up because what seems to happen is that moving stone and wood and ore and all that stuff to a stockpile seems to be a priority for laborers. So we're just going to have them chop down a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, you know, go crazy. Chop down some trees that way as well. And then probably immediately get started on a few homes. We could just start off with a little tiny fishing community or something. Key is to not try to grow too fast. That's the thing. Accepting nomads seems to be suicide in some cases. Now notice how these resources don't actually count as ours until they go into a stockpile. So we do need these guys to continue to work. That'll probably do it as soon as they're finished with this round. And then we'll just have them all gather for a bit. Alright, time for a stockpile. Let's just bring all that stuff in here. Temporary stockpile. We do have a little tiny bit of food. Basically spent like an entire month. I did do a tiny bit of research. I was trying to determine like how much food do people eat, and it seems like they eat once per season, once per quarter of the year, and it depends on whether they are an adult or a child or a student. It's hard to know the exact math, and I haven't seen or been able to find any websites that will define what it is, but not too big of a deal. Looks like we didn't actually get any iron. Alright, so I think we have enough stuff here. We can start actually designating some things. Let's go ahead and actually, even before we build the houses, since it's warm out, 71 degrees, the fact that they're homeless, whatever. Not that big of a deal, really. Let's get the fish thing going. And definitely, I'm going to be trying to build more of a disconnected type of like everything, like there will be houses next to every job, because I want them to just live where they're gonna work, and I need to make sure to not build too many houses, because I think part of the reason why we had such a struggle in the first playthrough was that the people ended up being spread out and they didn't make babies because they were just spread out. Alright, so we got basic little bit of fishery going. We could also probably just build a hunting lodge for now just to get some stuff. But actually, you know, more than a hunting lodge, I think we've got fish. I think we need to get some gathering done. So we'll build a gathering hut over here, which is going to be, it's actually in a different list for some reason. Gatherer's hut's over here. Put one of those there, and then let's build a couple houses to go with it. And we'll build one more here. But before we get started on these things, I'll let you guys actually finish that first house. So these guys, you know, I think they're all going to be bringing the goods over there. In fact, we can probably, you know what, come to think of it, the builders will build what they want to build, and let's let the laborers take stuff over there. Fortunately, we don't need any iron to build these buildings, so this should get done fairly quick. We are low on food. Of course we are. Look at that. That went away pretty quick. Mostly because they're taking the food and they're putting it in their houses. These greedy bastards took like all of the potatoes. And these guys took a lot of potatoes as well. Okay, so yeah, up to 4 fishermen, and then we're probably going to want to have a couple gatherers. It's okay to pre-designate because they'll just function as laborers until their actual job is available. Cut some of these down as well. See how they go to work? It's good. Yep, so fishermen are living there. 2 fishermen. 2 of the builders are living here. And we'll actually go down to just 1 builder, I think, and an extra gatherer. And then no, from here we're basically just gonna excuse me, just allow the village to survive a winter. It's almost autumn. It's gonna be a while until we get farming up and running, but pretty curious to see how things go. Still have 5 homeless. We already have a child. Man, they're getting busy. I'm getting busy in the bedroom, huh? Having some fun. See, now this is an immediate example of harsh being much more difficult of a playthrough. Notice how it's only autumn and it's already down to 31 degrees and we're seeing frost and snow on the ground. So you definitely are going to have a harder time on the harsh play setting. You need to make warm coats right away. You have to have a nice optimized city, I think, for things to go well. Still have a couple homeless, so trying to think where the next house should really be. I mean, we need to build one because it's cold out. So I guess we just build it there, and then we'll build a woodcutter as well, right next to it for now. Something for them to work on. Might even need to go up to 2 builders there. No available laborers, but that's okay. They can They can do their jobs while it's winter. They won't get very much done, I imagine, with it being this cold. 17 degrees. Much, much colder. I don't remember it really getting much below, like, 20. And there's that firewood that I knew that they'd need. So, fish gathering is going pretty well. We gathered 602 fish before the winter fell, and quite a few of those things. We'll definitely need a woodcutter for this winter. So everyone should pretty much be working. What are you guys bringing stuff into here for, huh? Oh, I see they're putting the fish into the storage cart. Yeah. That's not too far for them to travel. Suppose we could have our builders, or our builder, rather, just do some basic roads for us. This I know is not very pretty. But this is just the groundwork. And then once we get the groundwork underway, we'll eventually expand, and I have a whole plan. I made a spreadsheet on how to design optimal farms, and I'm going to keep on developing it over time and try to make them more and more effective. We do have a fair bit of stone, so we could consider maybe even just trying to immediately make stone homes. I wonder if that would be too ambitious. They do take a tiny bit of iron. Can we find some iron? Yeah, there's iron over here. Let's go get a little bit of iron. Seems like enough for our laborer to go work on. Mr. Laborer? Who do we got? Who's the laborer? It is Delana. And it looks like our builder has nothing to do, so they're doing that as well. Which is fine. And early spring, we're starting to warm up now. Excellent. I'm going to adjust some of our limits here. I think, you know what? Actually, they're fine. They're totally fine for now. So I think what I'm going to do this time, you know, I think where we failed in the last playthrough was I built a whole ton of homes before we needed them. I think that was the issue. That caused people to spread out more. And what I'd prefer to do is let's build homes only as we need them. So when we see the homeless pop up, we'll start building some homes. And maybe a few in preparation of like nomads or something. But that's what the boarding house is for. So I think you're supposed to build the homes as they need them. And that's it. And allow families to be there. And then other than that, you just have to make sure that there are homes right next to work locations. Like, I plan on having 2 homes next to every farm, homes next to pretty much every structure that does these things. And we'll spread out and not be very centralized at all in this playthrough. So that should go fine. And they're sure chopping down trees pretty quick. Health is okay. We probably are going to want an herbalist at some point. We got 53 stone out of that. So do we want to upgrade these to stone houses? Maybe we just build a stone house. I do feel like if you can afford to, like, having stone homes versus wooden homes early on would be pretty awesome. 16 and 8 versus a ton. It's a lot more, but it kind of also forces you to build slower. So maybe it'll work. But let's think. How do we turn this town into a big town as quickly as possible safely? Well, clearly we're going to need to expand our food production options. We're also going to need to get the trading post up as quickly as possible so that we can get some seeds. Before we do that, I think we're going to want to have most of the basic structures, like a school and that kind of thing. But we are stable. No, storage cart does double as a storage barn. Really no reason to replace it at this point. So we don't have any wood for wood cutting. Gatherer's hut's not going to be tremendously effective here, but we'll gather quite a bit. And we actually have quite a few more laborers, people that came of age. So we should put them to work. Let's start getting some more natural resources. Don't really need stone, so let's actually just take the trees here. Something for our builders to work on, I guess. And I definitely think that another thing that I did wrong in the first attempt was tried to like reach a point of like being able to live off the land too quickly, you know, with focusing on foresters and that whole thing, and like not destroying the nature that was around us. But I think just consuming natural resources in the beginning is probably the best way to just get things done. Okay, food is still a bit of a concern, so I think we want to go up to an extra gatherer. And yeah, that gatherer's hut did not do nearly as much this year as last year. Probably because, well, it's just mostly a field. But it did serve its purpose for a little while. And we have food in the homes. No one's actually hungry. Got plenty of fish in there. I think we should probably add a hunter's thing. Now, hunters can be either in woods or in open fields. They just, like, they don't benefit from mountains, so... And they also don't benefit from being next to too much population. This would be effective here. You can see the deer right there. And there's more deer over here as well. Kill the deer! They're right there! There's just... They're eating the fish! They're trying to sneak the fish! Kill them! Kill the deer! It wouldn't be a Banished episode if I didn't at least say kill the deer one time. Kill them! And we have 2 new children. Population's growing fairly quick. Okay, well, I'm going to take a break here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you again soon.